Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Beetle Moment Marketing Podcast. I'm here today with our guest, Brielle Nickoloff. Brielle is a lead of voice user experience design and research at Witlingo, which is a Washington, D.C. based startup. And Witlingo builds products and solutions for voice devices and platforms like the Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and Microsoft's Cortana. Brielle has dual bachelor degrees in linguistics and neuroscience from University of Colorado Boulder, and much of her research it began with a closer look at the ways that our emotional reactions to a voice interface are notably more inflated than reactions to other types of user interfaces. Brielle loves to design for maximally accessible and minimally intrusive technology by leveraging the beauty of natural human language. Welcome to the show, Brielle.
Yeah, thanks for that introduction. I'm excited to be on the show.
You're welcome. So Brielle and I connected because we're actually both going to be speaking at the Alexa conference in January. And I found out a little about what she's doing with Witlingo and thought you should get on the show and tell us all about it. So tell us about Witlingo.
Yeah, so we are a startup based in McLean, Virginia, as you mentioned, and we build solutions for businesses and customers to get their brand and their company a presence on voice. So just like with the advent of the web, soon it became crucial for anybody who wanted to be found to have a website. And then with the advent of the mobile first world, it became crucial if you wanted to be relevant and be able to be, a part of the consumer world, that you needed an app. So now we're moving into this space of you need a presence on voice. And that's our mission at Witlingo. We design for the best user experience possible, and up to this point we've done some custom skills for people, and now we recently launched our first product called Castlingo. There's a promotion going on right now if you want to get your own through December 8th, and basically Castlingo is a way for an individual, like podcasters and authors specifically. We've had a lot of people who have followings or a readership. They love to use their Castlingo as a way to connect with their audience using their voice. And so you can basically host a micro podcast and record straight into your phone through an app that we built. And then that audio will get pushed out onto Alexa. And it's different than a flash briefing because you can search through the content. You can say, hey, Alexa, what was Emily Binder's post about Christmas time last year? And she'll surface that up. So we have these different features that are specific to this use case.
Oh, that's really interesting. So I think the searchability aspect, to me, that initially sounds like one thing that sets you apart. And just to be clear for our listeners, a lot of people who listen to this podcast understand what a flash briefing is, but there's, I think, general confusion about what's the difference between a flash and a custom skill or a podcast skill. So it sounds like with Castlingo, you can quickly generate a custom skill, which has audio that is searchable, and it's not just once a day and it goes away.
Exactly. So essentially we have a wizard online. You can go to castlingo.com, go through a 4-step process, name your skill, and then once you have the app, you will just be able to start recording immediately. We'll submit your skill to Alexa to be certified, and it's usually ready within a few days. And then once you're live, you can start recording and people can find you on Alexa.
Oh, that's so cool. You mentioned that you have customers who are podcasters or authors or even comedians. How is this? So actually, I want to ask like a more interesting question, not just about your product, but for people in those kind of professions, people who are their own brand. How is having a custom skill on Alexa? Sometimes I say Lexi, not to set people's devices. We've already done that. So let's say Alexa. How does this help them to market themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. we've especially when you think about how connected we are as humans to the emotional aspect of voice and conversation, there's a really unique way of connecting now with your readers or your listeners through voice. And if you read a joke on Twitter or what have you, there's that has its own place. But eventually, like you mentioned, comedians or poets that want to have so much more emotion vested in what they're delivering, that's not really doable through text. And so there's just a brand new way to deliver a lot more value and meaning to the people that are listening to you by connecting through the voice aspect.
Absolutely. I always talk about that with my clients, which is you can't have a warmer touch with a customer, with a listener, than through the human voice. I mean, it's literally the first, fastest, most natural sense and way that we understand, communicate, comprehend meaning from other
Exactly.
humans. It goes through the brain faster than touch,
Hmm.
faster than visuals for sure.
Yeah. I heard about something the other day that mentioned a poll they did about, so if you're sick and of these like three things that you could have, one is like mom's chicken soup, one was like a cozy blanket in movies, and one was like the sound of mom's voice. It was by far like the landslide winner was the voice, because there's something so incredibly important to us as humans when it comes to that.
Right. Like you hear your mother's voice when you're in the womb and
Hmm.
connect to that before anything else sensory. So
Exactly.
super powerful.
Yeah.
Um, and I think what really caught my eye about Witlingo when I started reading about what you're doing there is the ease of use. So there's a little barrier to entry in setting up a flash briefing. Um, but with your app, I mean, people can record straight into their phone, right? So
Hmm.
it's super just seamless. Like you could do it anywhere,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. The whole process of creating your skill is automated. And yeah, if you're, say, you come across somebody that is interesting and you want to do a micro interview with them, you're in the moment, you have your phone with you, and you can just record on the spot. There's no setting up back at home or trying to plan out the audio. Which of course has its own space, but this idea of, the micro podcasting in any given moment is kind of, I think, the power of this.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, I mean, I do a flash briefing and I love it, but I'm so picky about my audio that I always end up wanting to record it, like make it sound great. I've tried to do it on my phone and it never really sounds as good. And I have the nice iPhone 10s. Do you have any do you tell people to do it a certain way when they're recording on their phone to get a better quality?
Yeah, so we're working on just like in the back end, we're working on voice control and trying to make it so that we have our own system that makes it sound as good as possible. But then we also encourage users who are going to be using it for interviews or using it regularly, they get one of just like a simple Amazon mic that they plug in and have
Mhm.
it like on their lapel. Yeah.
Yeah, like a simple lavalier mic. That
Hmm.
goes a
Yeah.
long way. I think the equipment is, it's important to just invest in it once and make it sound good because even when, you'll think about YouTube and people who
Hmm.
are super popular on YouTube, they'll always tell you the most important thing is the audio. The video matters, but if your audio sucks, nobody wants to watch the
Yeah.
video.
That's very true. Yeah.
So, all voice first, right?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, yeah.
cool. Well, I'm excited to dig into Witlingo. I think actually I might try to create my own Castlingo, especially with this promo that you have going on this week.
Yeah.
So tell me, where can people find you and Witlingo?
Yeah, so Witlingo.com is our company. And then if you want to go ahead and create your own Castlingo during this promo period or afterwards, yeah, just go to Castlingo, Castlingo.com. And the wizard, you'll see a button that'll take you straight to the wizard there. And you can find the Castlingo app on the mobile, on the iOS or Android store too. And then we also have something coming down the line, which is going to be customer care focused. So as we kind of touched on before, having a presence if you're a big brand or a company or um, and some way to connect with your consumers via voice will be a very, very important thing very quickly. And we're actually already seeing customers that have been asking for it now. So this will be a way basically to use this same platform and have the customer care teams in any company record maybe helpful tips or FAQs or what have you as it comes in, and then deliver that experience as a customer care experience via Alexa as well.
Oh, that is really interesting. I think that a lot of brands are kind of wondering, what do I do? Do I get a chat bot? Do I make a skill? How do I, like, let's say it's like a home improvement brand and people need to understand how to hang curtains and they want to
Hmm.
help. This is a great first step for a brand like that, I think. Having like the sonic branding, having the voice of the person
Hmm.
who is the helper, maybe kind of like a mascot, but a
Hmm.
human. And then so yeah, that customer
Yeah.
service ask, I feel like you guys should focus and like really promote that. Like from a marketing perspective, I know so many brands that are saying, what do I do with Alexa? How do I help
Hmm.
customers
Yeah,
directly?
like, do I go for entertainment? Do I go for some like transactional experience where,
Yes.
or do I provide information? That's always the question. And kind of getting over that initial hump that it takes to actually get some features down that customers would be interested in is pretty difficult. So this is a way to kind of just enter into the voice space immediately.
That's a really good idea. Huh. I mean, it's cool because this is like a plug and play. And I've been thinking about this for some of my clients, which we're talking like custom skills. How do we design for this customer's need?
Hmm.
But this is almost like a catch-all. Like a lot of companies should just have this accessibility for your top 5 or 10 FAQ.
Hmm.
Make a skill with that. Use Castlingo or Witlingo to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
should talk about that at the Alexa conference.
Yeah, probably will.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So this has been my interview with Brielle Nickoloff from Witlingo. And check out witlingo.com. And I'll have Brielle's contact info, her Twitter. What is your Twitter again, Brielle?
Yeah, it's at L for language. So ELLE and then for language.
Oh, I love that. All
Thanks.
the people in the voice space are so witty.
Yeah.
So you can get tickets to the Alexa conference at voicefirst.fm/Alexa conference, or just Google Alexa conference. It's in Chattanooga, January 15th through 17th. Brielle and I and a ton of really smart people will be speaking there. It's going to be
It's
fantastic.
gonna be
And we'll
awesome.
actually, yeah, can't wait. Everybody's really pumped about this. And we'll be sharing our discount codes this week. So follow us on Twitter. I'm at Emily Binder. Brielle is at L for language. And thank you so much for being on the show, Brielle. And I can't wait
Yeah.
to meet you in person in
Yeah,
January.
I'm excited. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome.